So that's a previous extinction event. That was the extinction of the dinosaurs and a lot of genre. That extinction event led to the evolution of primates and eventually to us. Had that extinction event not occurred, as Stephen Jay Gould said, we would likely not exist and dinosaurs would likely still rule this planet. Well, there are other extinction events that are occurring, and you're probably familiar with a lot of local extinction events, maybe some species that you've heard about recently that have gone extinct, individual species like Yangtze River dolphin or the Steller sea cow or the Carolina parakeet or the dodo bird. These are all singular events, and a lot of them have an anthropogenic cause. They're caused by humans. Well, these are individual extinction events that are likely caused by humans, but it doesn't really count as a mass extinction in the way that we just looked at with the dinosaurs. Well, there is an example from the last 20 years of a group of animals that underwent a mass extinction. So, a little while ago, maybe 15 years ago, someone noticed that amphibians started to disappear. They would visit sites where previously there was a ton of different frogs, and they would find that there was no frogs left. No one really knew what was going on until someone actually caught the frogs in the act of dying. And they realized that these frogs were experiencing a pathogen. There was a disease spreading through populations of frogs and hitting them population by population, spreading across the New World. Well, as biologists tracked this disease, they found that it moved across South America, Central America, Asia, the Philippines, and now we're finding that it started likely in Africa and then reoccurred in Africa. And so this disease was caused by a novel pathogen, a new pathogen. And a lot of you are probably very up to date with what novel pathogens can do and how they can affect populations. Well, this novel pathogen was so bad for frogs that it actually wiped out entire species. Some species they think weren't even discovered yet before they went extinct. So we didn't even know they existed, but we never will because they're gone. And a lot of those species occurred in South America, Central America, and highland areas, areas of mountains and valleys, where we just described there's a lot of species diversity. So this example, this is an article from Nature from Panama, where they lost 30 species in Panama, which was around 40% of the amphibian diversity in some areas, which is a lot. We're not talking about one species, we're talking about a bunch of different species from one pathogen. Here in California, up in the Sierra Nevadas, the mountain yellow-legged frog got hit really hard. Vance Friedenberg from San Francisco State and David Wake from UC Berkeley, they described this extinction event and this whole related extinction event across the world as the sixth mass extinction. So from the world of amphibians, they just experienced their own asteroid, their own meteor. Amphibians have just experienced a mass extinction. This is a map illustrating the species diversity found throughout the world of amphibians, and it's kind of proportioning countries by how much species diversity they have of amphibians. You can see Mexico is really big, Colombia is massive, you can see Brazil is very big. So these are areas where there's a lot of diversity. And here's where the amphibians are critically endangered. And again, you can see that throughout Central and South America, where you have a lot of high altitude species of amphibian, they're experiencing a massive amount of loss. So this is an example of a contemporary current mass extinction. If you want to know more about that, you can check out AmphibiaWeb, and there's a whole page dedicated to worldwide amphibian declines. It discusses the scope of the problem, the causes, what can be done, what's currently being done. And if you're super interested in that, you can indeed get very involved with that research locally at San Francisco State and UC Berkeley and all over the world, really. There's researchers that are really trying to get at the root of this problem, either to save more amphibians or to better understand the way pathogens spread through species and have these effects. So that's our talk on extinction and speciation.